Warp drive active. Warp drive active. Warp drive active. Warp drive active. drive active. Warp drive active. Warp drive active. drive active. Warp drive active.
Sup, Spence? We lost that fight, but luckily none of us in our alliance lost anything at all. And we killed a ton of shit, so. I did not expect that. I'm sorry about that. I did not expect that to take that long. They formed up like 2 hours before the actual fight. It was fucking annoying. All right. You just want to use our home hole because there's some things I want to do. Like I want to demonstrate the effect that skills have on scanning. One of the best ways to do that is combat scanning an interceptor, which is one of the most difficult things you can do. And what area are you near right now? Where are you at? Are you near Jita or? Link it. Can you open a convo with me? Yeah, kick it. Is that near Jita? Yeah, I see it in there.
Warp drive active.
Who's your friend here, by the way?
Warp drive.
So, who's your friend, by the way?
I'm the one of her directors.
Oh, okay, cool deal.
Kind of
Our
how we
alliance,
got there.
nice. Our alliance is now 114th in the game for the past 7 days. It's a pretty huge improvement. The Z-kill rankings, we're 114th alliance in the game now.
Nice.
We went from like 156 to 114th due to that one fight.
Warp drive active.
I'll give you our system. Hold on. Okay, sounds like I'm gonna have to in a minute anyway myself. As soon as I get docked up. How far are you from that location? If you're the director, can you take a look at for me?
Sure. Where did which location was it?
Oh, I linked it to Spencer, not you. She'll look at it when she gets back. Fuck it.
Okay.
Be back in a minute.
Okay. Nice. Hey Spencer, your thing, your recording, it's in super ultra wide, which means no one can really see anything. Are you using OBS?
I opened your stream, silent, and there's nothing happening.
So you can change the resolution from. I guess audio is good. All we'll need for this, but yeah, there's a way that I can show you how to do it later. Okay, well, okay, go to your OBS settings. Well, it's gonna have to do two things that I know one of them you're not gonna like, and that's you're gonna have to actually make your E screen a 1920 by 1080 resolution.
What are y'all trying to do?
Fix her OBS. So if you change your in-game setting to 1920 by 1080, it will shrink it down to the right size. And then if you go to your OBS, instead of doing a screen capture, do a application capture. It will only capture that, and it will actually eliminate your taskbar and everything from the bottom.
Can you hear me? Give me a second. I'm looking for something real quick. I'm on my way back now. Trying to find a shorter route into our wormhole. We can even hit part of the chain. As long as we're close to home so we can swap ships and show you some stuff pretty quick. How's it been going over in Arkansas? Yeah, there's another route in actually, but it's in this. I guess it's kind of the same distance. How far are you from those two systems, Spence? Shit. Okay, well, what's this? Okay, yeah, just get in Sonoma then. That's where I'm headed to. I am 20 jumps out and an interceptor. We'll shoot a quick video and we get over there. It's going to be pretty easy. There's a lot of tutorials on YouTube and they go over all the little intricate details of scanning. But there's really only a couple of major things you need to know. And I've got a few tricks that a lot of the tutorials don't show you. Unless somebody's done updated stuff lately. So yeah, well, our ward decks are active, by the way. We cannot ward deck one of the groups. Hold on.
Warp drive active.
Insomnia, they were ineligible for ward deck. Insomnia Incorporated. Well, that's what my whatchamacallit said. Y'all are at war with them right now. Why could we not ward deck them? I'll hit Fire Kid up tonight. Hold on, let me hit him up right now, actually.
Warp drive active. active. Warp drive 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 active.
What's up? Chilling.
All right, so how many jumps out are you? I'm 9 jumps out. Let me go to. Do y'all want to combine comms so my guys don't shoot you? Or I can get. I'll just pop over and let them know real quick. Yeah, I should be blue to us. You should be blue to us in general. Good.
Warp drive active.
I just set y'all to excellent standing with my core. Let me pop over and tell them.
Warp drive active. Drive active. Warp drive active.
They're cleared and y'all are set of lines blue. 4 jumps out. What about you?
Warp drive active.
What is that? If you're coming the same direction I did, it's pretty easy. What low sex did you have? Are you going through? Tenolan, Onto, and Surgento. Yeah, those are all clear. Well, there's a Hecate on one gate, but he's not going to smart bomb you.
Warp drive active.
It was all clear when I came through. If you're in a cloaky frig, it shouldn't be much of an issue. Okay. When we get in there, I have a friend of mine. Good deal. I have a friend of mine who's going to help us out. We're gonna go over different types of scanning today. We're going to do standard wormholes, and we're also going to do combat scanning. I'm not as familiar with that. I can drag one of my guys over who knows a little bit better, but I can share the basics of how it works.
Warp
If y'all want to jump into our comms for a minute, we could. Where's that? Good deal. I think the regular signature scanning and combat scanning will go. They'll fit in the same episode pretty much. Sweet. All right. Let me pop over and see if one of the guys wants to volunteer real quick.
Warp drive active.
All right. So Spencer, when you get in, how far out are you? Okay. When you get in, there should be a SIGIN system. I'm on that. I went to the other side. I forgot this is not directly into our home hole.
Warp drive active.
This is a secondary path. Hey, fleet up with me, by the way.
Warp drive active.
Do you have a fleet up already? Before I'm gonna fleet with you. Actually, hold on. Don't take that fleet invite. Apparently, we don't have one either.
Warp drive active.
Alright, so you get that fleet invite? Alright, when you get in system, just warp to me. And then I'll warp us along the chain to 0. Activation on the whole.
Warp drive active.
Alright. Alright, I got a minute. What is that? Yeah, for another 10 seconds. Alright, go ahead and jump in. I'll follow you. I'm jumping in. Are you in? What is it? What's wrong? Me neither. Take this wormhole. You in? I didn't see you when I fleet warped us. Did you get? Are you in J103631? All right. If you. Oh, okay. If you didn't catch that fleet warp, you can warp to me now.
Warp drive active.
I'll wait on you on this hole. What is that? Alright, take coal. Yeah, we were fighting with fucking No Forks Given dog workers against NHS and a bunch of other groups. It did not go well.
Warp drive active.
Alright, the next hole will be 0, our home hole. Does that endurance scan? Our endurance is capable of scanning? Alright, jump through. And this will be our home. Alright, so I'm going to start doing a... Are you video recording yourself right now?
Warp drive active.
I've got one. Okay, stream it, or... If you just want to see what's going on my screen, I'll record it and send it to you or something. How do you want to do that? On YouTube? Okay, that sounds like a plan. To go up. Probably gonna hear my baby in the background. Alright, I'm about to get a chip out. We're going to do this.
I'm here.
You can burn up here to me if you want to or whatever. I'm about to start loading my. All right, so the way we're going to do this, I'm going to live stream to you on Discord, okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch your stream. Spencer's is a little wide right now. I gotta help her with that later. Well, no, even YouTube compresses it even more. So, like, I can see your everything. It's just you can't make out text. It all becomes very pixelated, block-looking stuff. No, but I mean,
What is it? I couldn't hear you very well.
I was explaining to her like how YouTube, because it's compressing her ultra wide, it makes the text pixelated.
Okay. Well, can you see my live stream right now?
Yeah, I can see yours.
All right, we're going to go ahead and start this instructional video on scanning in JSpace. I am Julian Darklight, military commander for QI, and friends with Spencer here and her umbrella organization. So we're going to go over some scanning tools and tips today for the new bros who aren't as familiar with JSpace in general or wormholes. All right, the first thing you need is obviously skills. And we're going to look at that right here. Scanning, this stuff is... all this literally has its own tab under the scanning tab. You see, mine aren't the best by any means, but I'm still pretty fast. But if you get these to 5, you're going to see some vast improvement. And we're going to demonstrate the difference between like level 4 and 5 skill sets today and what you can and can't do if you don't have your skills to 5. So what we're going to go over is you need all of these skills: astrometric acquisition, astrometric range finding, astrometric the pinpointing is pretty fucking good too. You need all these, at least these 2 at 3. Astrometrics itself needs to be at 5 because that has a vast impact. Astrometrics pinpointing 5% per level. It's not that, I probably need to get that one to level 3. You want all these really at level 3, although me and myself and obviously missing a point, but still pretty quick overall. If you've got your ship, what you want to do in your ship is you want to fit up with preferably a faction scanner like the Sisters Expanded probe launcher. The difference between like Sisters Expanded and a regular Sisters probe launcher is that the Expanded A holds more probes, and you get a little bit higher. You get a little bit higher scan strength with the Sisters in general instead of just a regular probe launcher. You also will want to run on your scan ship at least a few of these modules, which give you a lot of assistance in scanning in general. Scan acquisition array. Reduce the scan time of scan probes. You got your scan range finding array, increases the scan strength when scanning with scan probe. And the same module again. Those few modules over here are completely worth the extra cost of your ship. And preferably a T2 scanning ship like the Buzzard here goes a long way, and it's pretty easy to train into. It does not take much time. And as you can see, you get your bonuses to your CPU requirement, obviously, core scan strength, time for scans, so on and so forth. You can scan in other ships like Tempests or rolling battleships, that kind of thing, but it's not going to be anywhere near as fast as a dedicated scanner like this. I won't promise that I'm the fastest scanner in the world, but don't have to be. If you practice these skills, you yourself can become a lot faster than probably I am right now. But I do know how it works. We're going to go over. First thing you need to do is have your scan probe, your probe launcher loaded with the proper probes. And for me right now, all you see is Sisters combat scan probes, combat scanner probes. These are basically used for hunting other ships. Although there's something that a lot of people don't know about the combat scanners, you can use these combat scanners to scan signatures, but they're nowhere near as efficient as your regular Sisters probes. The ones that I just launched, the yellow probes. All right, so the first thing we're going to do when you're scanning, you're going to go down here to the left of your menu right here, and you're going to select your scanner. Go to your probe scanner window, and you'll see a list of signatures. We're just going to pick one out and start with the top one. You can click on them, see their general location in space, to focus on them to say you want to center your probes around that signature. You can click on it so it's in the center of your screen. Is what you're focusing on. One of the best ways to do this, a lot of people spend a lot of time fooling around with this little bar here, right here, which shows where all your probes are centered around in space. A lot of people spend a lot of time fucking with that or messing with that. One of the best ways to do this a lot faster than I see a lot of new bros doing it, is to simply bring your camera as directly above the point that you're looking at as possible. A quick adjust. You only need 2 angles of deviation. You only need the top and the side. All right, so another little tip about scanning that you don't see on some of the tutorials is pretty much every signature you see on this map is going to be all these little red spots. Those are signatures you can scan down. They're all going to be within 8 AU of a planet. Almost always within 8 AU of a planet. So one of the best things you can do for a fast scan in general, instead of going like a lot of the tutorials show you going out to 16 or 32 with your scan size, drastically increases the amount of time you're going to spend scanning. So instead of going to like 32 or 16, just drop it to 8. Look at the signature where it rests in space and figure out what planet it's closest to, which in this case could be this planet over here, planet 7, or planet 8. I'm going to guess planet 8. Click there, center on planet 8. What we talked about before. It doesn't have to be perfect. I like it to be a little more centered because I'm a tad OCD, but it does not have to be perfect. And then you hit your analyze button. Your probes go there, and they start working. And as you can see, I've already got a good scan on several signatures from this location. One of them being actually the TTG. And I see that's a wormhole, and say you really just want wormholes, you may swap from this other signature, the cosmic signature, the one we were looking at originally, UVF. By the way, all these signature IDs are individualized. All you really need to know is the first 3 letters, UVF, MSL, so on and so forth. But say I'm looking for wormholes, right? Wormholes, another little tip about wormhole scanning, scanning for wormholes and gas signatures. Wormholes and gas signatures tend to pop up and be the most easily scanned items in general, unless it's like a high-class item. If you take a look at this, you can see a little bit of information about the signature. You see the signature designation. You see what type of it is. Right now it's a wormhole. A little swirly signal is a wormhole. You see how far it is approximately from your location. And the most important thing about this is scanning difficulty level 1. It means it's the easiest to scan. In general, wormholes are easier than, say, data sites and stuff like that. So if you're trying to do a fast scan and find the wormholes in the system, put your probes out to like 8 around any location, hit scan, and the ones that go to the top that have the most scan percentage, like for this one 25.9 and for this one 16.1, I'm willing to bet that BHM is a wormhole. Let's see. It is. See that? Okay, it's a wormhole. Generally, the items with the most percentage points are going to be your higher, or your wormholes and your gas sites, and most often it's going to be a wormhole these days, since gas sites and wormholes have been reduced. All right, so here's a little tip: if your scanning skills are high enough and you've got a good scanning ship, you can actually skip a step in the process. Sending your probes, you can skip, go into 4AU like a lot of the tutorials show you. You can go straight to 2AU. And just hit your analyze button. And I should have it after that pass. It's been a long time explaining it, but in reality, it's a lot faster once you know how to do it. And I don't, it moved a little bit. But as you can see, we're still on track. You can pretty much skip level 4, and a lot of times you actually will have the SIG. I guess this one was a bit off. There we go, now we have the SIG. Now, one thing about this, if you're trying to bookmark accurately and you don't want to, mess with your fleets in combat, especially if you're scanning for combat ops or there's a potential combat op, a lot of people like to bookmark the wormhole from here. You can right-click on it, and as you see, you have your option menu right here. A lot of people already like to go to save location and bookmark it. Do not do that, because I'm going to show you why in just a second. We're going to go ahead and warp to 0 on this, right? Show you something. As we land, look at this. We landed 5,300, 5,000 meters off the hole. In general, you can jump that hole at 5,000 meters, but sometimes you're off as much as 8 or 9. And if you're running a combat fleet, and your fleet lands almost 10 kilometers off the hole, and you've got somebody after you, and then you have to burn that distance to jump through the hole, that can cost you an entire fleet. So the best way to do this is go ahead and warp to the signature, generally cloaked, and it won't decloak you in general if you warp at 0, although I usually warp at 10 to the original signature, and I end up landing like 15 off if I'm cloaky and I'm just trying to scout. The best way to do this at this point is to just right click, save location, and then type in whatever designation you want up here, make sure it's in the proper chain, and set it to expire. With wormholes, you always want it in 2 days instead of never, or 3 hours, unless it's like a super EOL hole. Generally, leaving everything in wormhole space, every signature you have to scan down to in 2 days is the best way to go, so you don't end up clogging up your bookmarks. We have a bookmark folder over here. You don't want to clog that up. So in general, leaving everything in wormhole space you have to scan down to 2 days is optimal. As you can see, for us, this bookmark is already made, so I'm not going to worry about it. All right, so I'm going to show you a little trick here. Okay. I'm going to decloak, load the proper probes. You don't have to do it this way. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. Load the proper probes. I usually start burning, so go off and away from the hole to be safe. If you do this, if you hit your micro warp drive and your cloaking device, then you can change the direction of your ship. And as you see, you leave a ball of probes behind. A hunter will use that ball of probes to find you. So never sit dead still in the middle of that ball of probes, because like what I do is if I see like a new bro or something, I know he's a new bro, and he launches that ball of probes, even if he's cloaked up, and I get a glimpse of the rough location of that ball of probes, I'm going to head straight into the middle of that with my drones out to try to decloak and kill. So just giving you little survival tips along the way. Start burning away, launch your probes, hit your micro warp drive, then hit your cloaking device. It'll let your micro warp drive go 1 cycle before it goes out. In that time, you can burn away. Look at that. We're already like 40 kilometers away. I like to burn directly up or directly down to avoid getting caught. We're going to do the same thing again. We have our probes that are, it's already centered here. But what we're going to do is we are going to, in general, use, say, this location right here. Got 2 signatures near it. They're kind of near that planet. I'm going to scan everything within 8 AU of that planet. And as you see, we have a few that went through the roof right here. So, say, let's just pick one. Stick with the one we have now. Let's go with the highest one. 24 point. Skip down to your 2 AU and scan. See what I mean? There, it worked that time. You get that instant scan on it. All right, so I think y'all understand the basics of scanning signatures. You pretty much do this exact same method with every signature in wormhole space. It's just different difficulties. Like a data site, for example, would be a lot more difficult than a wormhole or a gas site. What we're going to demonstrate next is combat probes. No, we already get. You can use the Astra. You can use the Astra. I would like to point out a few more things before we go to the combat probe area. Just a couple of little notes for the new guys. Down here, you have your multiple formations. You have safe current formation. You have launch as a spread formation. You can change the way your probes work. In general, this formation is not used by wormholers hardly ever, but the only time it's really used is if you're using combat scanners like I have loaded now, trying to get a quick overview of what's in a large system, then you'll launch this formation and do a quick scan. But that's really about it. Most of the time when you want to use your pinpoint formation. Pinpoint formation is just a lot faster for pretty much everything. All right. Oh, on top of that, there are some other things you can tell. Like if you scan wormhole and you get different signatures, like a bar. Say this is a dot and this is a dot, and you have a bar between it. Let's just do something random here. See if I can make it happen. But different things about the signatures will tell you different things. So I didn't get anything. The X, and X basically means, and this red ring around it means it could be anywhere in that area. You originally want your probes set to be larger than the red ball. Then sometimes you get a link between the signatures. You'll see the same signature with, like, say, a dot here and a dot here and a line between them. That just means that the signature you're looking for is at one of those 2 extremes. That's all it means. In general, though, if you're doing the right stuff, you won't have to worry about that. If you do what I taught you to, you'll be fine. All right, so we're going to go to combat scanning now. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording for a moment and get set up with that. All right. I stopped my recording. Let's go over to the Astra House. You there, Spence? Do you think that was pretty comprehensive? If the guys, as they get faster, if you practice that, you'll get a lot faster. Just a matter of practice. All right, so let me drag Derek over here.
Ooh, second. You mean your stream? find it. I got so many windows open. Something's still not right. Now there's it's a little square inside of a big black square. Your OBS, did you change the settings to be filming in 1080p now?
All right. I got my friend Derek here. We're gonna demonstrate some stuff. Like we're about to demonstrate just like combat scanning in general. I'm gonna put it all in the same video for y'all, but I'm about to start recording again. All right, Derek, just pick a spot in system.
We make it easy or hard. Scanner window.
Yeah.
Very top, once you have probes out, it'll say.
Thought it was fitting as well. I guess it's not.
No.
Yeah, I've got a scan strength of 53 right now with my scanner probes.
Oh.
With my combat probe.
Yeah, you won't be able to hit this interceptor then.
Nah. That's what I wanted
But
to
it's a good point to show that. I mean, you
Exactly.
do need to have a certain strength to be able to pin down really small stuff like a interceptor versus a battleship.
Yep, that's the truth. Well, we're about to start the instructional section. I'll just clip this video later. All right, so what we're going to do here is, previously, if y'all seen, my scan skills are not the absolute best. They're pretty good, and I'm pretty quick, but obviously I'm lacking in some areas, and we're about to demonstrate why, if you want to be an expert scanner, you really need to get those skills up. Derek, are you within D-scan range of me?
Yes, I am.
Sweet. All right. So what we're going to do here is say you pop into a system. Let's simulate popping into a system looking for enemies. You're looking for a particular enemy and say everything else in here you know is friendly. And you want to look for, say, that stiletto right there, Derek, stiletto. First, you want to de-scan him down. The best way to do a combat scan is to not to launch your probes like I've done here.